Today is World AIDS Day, as the world marks the 2020 edition of this annual event with the theme Ending the HIV and AIDS Epidemic, Resilience and Impact. It brings to consciousness the fact that about 38 million people are estimated to be living with the virus globally. Although the world has made significant progress since the late 1990s, HIV still remains a major global public health concern, like many other health issues. However, since the outbreak of coronavirus, the fight against HIV and AIDS seems to have been relegated. So, the question now is, what is the present status of HIV and AIDS in Nigeria? Is the country winning the war against AIDS with the advent of coronavirus? Are people suffering from the HIV and AIDS virus receiving all the necessary treatment? What about the testing? So many questions to be attended to on today's edition of Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center of the NTA. I am Dotun Ogunyemi. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring Nigerians that the Boko Haram insurgency inherited by his administration will not be handed over to its successor in office. The president, who stated this Monday evening at a strategic meeting with the Senate President Ahmad Lawan, said more decision and proactive measures are underway towards ending the menace. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
At the instance of President Muhammadu Buhari, Senate President Ahmed Lawan led a high-powered presidential delegation to Borno State on a sympathy and fact-finding visit following the brutal killings of rice farmers in parts of the state. He is here alongside the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and member of delegation to give President Muhammadu Buhari a feedback on their engagements with stakeholders, especially the Zabarmari community where the killings took place. After their discussions that lasted about 1 hour, Senate President Ahmed Lawan told NTA News that President Buhari will not leave anything to chance in the renewed onslaught against terrorism and insurgency.
Mr. President said he inherited insurgency and he will finish with the insurgency before he leaves office by the grace of God. He will make available as much resources as possible for our armed forces to be well prepared and armed to fight the insurgency that has bedeviled that part of the country.
This fight is a national fight. It's not executive or legislature, but working together, and it's a manifestation of the close working between the legislature and the executive. One other takeaway is the resilience of the community. Here, the people who have just lost loved ones, and yet they came out, Zabamari, and welcomed us, and the message of hope and commitment of the Mr. President is remarkable. And the second one is really the efforts and the leadership of the governor of Borno State, and particularly in terms of resettling the IDP, over 22 camps. And in order for the people to return to their places of origin, we have to beef up security. We have to also try to assist them in terms of education for their children, health facilities for the people, and above all, means of livelihood.
The Senate President said on his part, the National Assembly will continue to give President Buhari the maximum support he requires to succeed in the battle against insecurity.
This is one thing that we must do, because there is nothing better than security. You provide security, everything will go on well. I want to also add here that there is need for new thinking, there is need for new strategies, there is need for more commitment, there is need for more motivation for our armed forces. In addition to the support, we should also give them targets.
Senator Ahmed Lawan called for more support, understanding, and cooperation on the part of Nigerians as the government strives towards securing the country for a prosperous future. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier sent a joint delegation of the federal government and the legislature to condone with the people and government of Borno State over Saturday's killing of rice farmers in Sabamari local government area of Jere local government area, where in Borno State. The delegation, led by Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, also visited bereaved families in Zabamari village to convey the President's commiseration. Mohammed Ibrahim reports. It's on this note that we like to end Panorama and join our broadcast crew for the launch of the National Gas Expansion Program by President Muhammadu Buhari.
We welcome you again. And of course, where we have the director of DPR, we have the director of PEF also in the room. We welcome all of you, distinguished.
This is the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. We are live in the nation's capital city, Abuja. Good afternoon and welcome to the live broadcast of a historic event, the climax of concerted efforts by the federal government in ensuring a smooth and quick transition to a cleaner and cheaper energy source, natural gas, referred to as the energy of the future. On behalf of the NTA Outside Broadcast crew, I'm Hawa Salihu Adama, and we'll be filling the gaps as event unfolds today. Welcome.
Sure that cars on the street. That simply means is that even though we have not contributed so much to the green gas emissions globally, we are playing our part in reducing our own CO2 emissions in the world, and that I think it is something the administration is handling ever so well. So gas, as many have said.
The historic rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program by President Muhammadu Buhari will unveil the formal dispensing of auto gas, compressed natural gas CNG, and liquefied natural gas LPG at 2 NNPC retail stations in Lugbe along the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, as well as along the Kubwa Road in Katampe. It is worthy of mention that with a proven gas reserve of more than 200 trillion cubic feet, Nigeria is considered more of a gas province than crude oil. Also considering FG's aspiration to ensure Nigerians derive maximum benefit from its natural resources, the year 2020 was declared the year of gas. It is no wonder, therefore, that this major step is being taken today.
Manasseh, national anthem. The Federal Republic of Nigeria. Welcome, Your Excellency, Mr. President. Shall we please be seated? His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished senators here present, and chairmen of relevant Senate committees, honorable members of the House of Representatives here present, honorable ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, His Excellency Ambassador Ibrahim Gambari, Chief of Staff of the President, the distinguished Head of Service, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, heads of ministry agencies under the ministry, Chief Operating Officers of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and the Managing Directors of the NNPC subsidiaries, Presidents of Labor Organization and Trade Union Congresses, Captains of Industry, Gentlemen of the Press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the presidential rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program here at the NNPC Mega Station, Lugbe, Abuja. It's going to be quite a short event, and hence I will go straight into the proceedings of the afternoon. My name is Richmond Osuji, and I have the privilege and honor of mastering this event today. And quickly, without wasting much of our time, I'll switch gears now to the welcome address, as I ask you to join me in welcoming the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kolo Kiari, for this address.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, Commander-in-Chief, and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osibajo, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff to the President, distinguished members of the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives present here, members of the Federal Executive Council, honorable ministers, especially the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timothy Silva, gentlemen of the press, the President of Nigeria Labour Congress, represented ably here by the Deputy Vice President, and also the President of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Quadri, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, let me begin by thanking Your Excellency for leading this important transition from petrol to cheaper gas-powered transportation system for our country. Mr. President, the use of compressed natural gas, CNG, as well as liquefied petroleum gas to power automobiles has continued to get acceptance across the world due to its low cost and low impact on the environment. It is therefore provides a cheaper and cleaner alternative to petroleum motor spirit, popularly referred to as petrol. Your Excellency, from 2016 to 2019, the federal government spent over 3 trillion naira subsidizing the pump price of petroleum, particularly for PMS. While strong market forces continue to keep cost of supply higher than the approved PPRA ceiling. This situation has deprived our nation of the anticipated prosperity as the resources required to build critical infrastructure, improve the economy, extract private investment, and generate jobs for our people has been depleted by the subsidy regime. And most of, Mr. President, the subsidy regime do not benefit the ordinary Nigerians, which we are very, very passionate about. With the collapse of the global economy, Mr. President, due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the country lacks the resources required to sustain the onerous subsidy regime. Thus, in March 2020, we brought into effect the deregulation of the downstream sector of the Nigerian oil and gas industry, which brought end to fuel subsidy in our country. The federal government, being aware of the potential impact of this decision on the cost of transportation, initiated a transition to auto gas as a cheap alternative fuel aimed at deepening domestic gas utilization. Mr. President, NNPC is expanding the natural gas footprint across the nation in order to support industrialization and job creation through the ongoing gas infrastructure project, including the OB3 gas pipeline connecting east and the west, the ELPS-2, which is expected to boost supply to the Western Corridor, and the AKK pipeline that will supply gas to Abuja, the Federal Capital Authority, Kanuda, and Kaduna states ultimately. And these projects are well on course, Mr. President. Under your leadership, Mr. President, and the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the Ministry of Petroleum is working towards the implementation of the palliative measures agreed with organized labor. Today, Your Excellency, Mr. President, you will be launching
At this spot, 5 gas-powered transit buses and 10 converted buses for some of our agencies. And of course, with the continued agreement that will extend this to 1 million cars by the end of 2021. To support this effort, Mr. President, NNPC will provide free conversion service in some selected NNPC refuel stations to assist interested motorists switch from PMS to autogas, especially in areas with existing autogas service stations in the Federal Capital Territory, Kaduna, Kano, Kogi, Kwara, Ogun, Ondo, Oyo, Lagos, Edo, Delta, and Rivers State and Bayelsa State. NNPC is expanding this initiative to all NNPC retail stations across the nation, while assuring motorists of steady availability of autogas at competitive prices. Mr. President, we are profoundly grateful to Your Excellency for this cash gesture to the earnings of Nigeria by bringing support to them and providing them the cheap fuel. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. The GMD of NNPC, Malam Kiari. Of great importance there to note is the willingness of the NNPC to do some conversion for motorists.
The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mele Kiari there, and considering the critical role of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, which today has become the supplier of last resort as far as a supply of petrol is concerned. This palliative measure of an alternative, cheaper and cleaner fuel, no doubt, is a big relief. As earlier stated, considering FG's aspiration to ensure Nigerians derive maximum benefit from its natural resource,
of the Federal Republic. Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, members and leaders of the National Assembly that are here, members of the Federal Executive Council that are present, the GMD of NNPC, and other heads of agencies under the Ministry of Petroleum, the leadership of organized labor, and let me especially recognize the chairman of the National Gas Expansion Program and his team, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to be standing here before you on this day, which marks the beginning of a new era in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. In line with the aspirations of our dear President, Muhammadu Buhari, we have initiated efforts to deliver sustainable energy by improving gas availability and accessibility, boosting gas-based industrialization, and promoting economic diversification. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources has begun implementation of these initiatives to drive home Mr. President's directives. This administration is dedicated to implementing programs that are focused on improving the life of its citizens, creating jobs, building indigenous technical expertise, and stimulating other sectors of the economy to address unemployment amongst our youth, which, despite increased activity in the oil and gas sector, remains one of our biggest challenges. We must, as one country, think of the long-term development strategies to grow our economy in real terms. A significant part of this is the harnessing of our natural gas resources to focus on manufacturing and productivity. Not until this is done can we achieve the desired results. With this in mind, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, which, as you all know, is headed by Mr. President himself, is focusing on the development of skills, technology and manpower, the growth of LPG, CNG, and LNG. In January of this year, I inaugurated the National Gas Expansion Program as a mechanism to boost utilization of natural gas in the short and medium term. This is also part of the federal government's bid to key into the global shift from crude oil to gas and other renewable sources of energy, as re-emphasized in my declaration of the year 2020 as the year of gas. As part of the rollout strategy, which Mr. President is unveiling today, selected stations across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory will start the installation of facilities for gas products and conversion capabilities. The process is now well on course, as we can see today. The availability of autogas as an alternative fuel will afford Nigerians cheaper, cleaner, and additional choice of fuel. Cheaper than the price of PMS, cleaner for our environment, and better for our automobile and other engines. It is very important to note that this shift to gas underscores Mr. President's seriousness and determination in the development of Nigeria's vast gas resources. Under the directives of the President, we will continue to strengthen the gas value chain, as it is vital to transforming the economy of our great nation. This initiative is envisaged to create 2 million jobs per annum, promote skills acquisition, and enhance technology transfer, in addition to growing the nation's GDP. I would also like to thank Mr. President at this point, especially for his firm leadership, the NGEP team, the NNPC, and other stakeholders, and most especially Nigerians, and specifically the maturity and patriotism shown by organized labor in the face of daunting economic challenges facing our country. Thank you, and God bless you.
Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva there, talking about the advantages of this FG's plan to deepen domestic gas utilization and also making gas the first choice of cheaper energy for personal and industrial endeavors by Nigerians. We understand that with the official unveiling of this program, about 1 million vehicles are expected to be converted to use the CNG and LPG by the end of 2021.
Since 2019, the federal government has been pushing for the usage of gas, CNG and LPG in automobiles. This is as the country plans to reduce the natural energy consumption of petrol and diesel by achieving a 40% fuel switch to LPG in 10 years. According to the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Chief Timipre Silva, 2020 is the year of gas for the nation.
What we want to do is to introduce CNG into the market, so that if if you find PMS too expensive, CNG, which is much cheaper, should be affordable to you.
The advent of COVID-19 brought about global lockdown and shutdown that led to drastic oil price drop. Nigeria was not immune to this economic downturn as businesses and offices were shut down, with majority of Nigerians, except essential workers, staying at home. Consequently, deregulation of the petroleum industry became a viable option as subsidy became unrealistic. In realization of this fact, the federal government is putting all efforts towards deepening domestic gas utilization.
We promised the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market. These include the Escravos to Lagos pipeline system, to Obiafu to Obricom pipeline, and Ajakuta, Kaduna, Kano.
As part of efforts to mitigate the effects of deregulation and deepening domestic gas utilization, the NGEP is using all available domestic gas resources to provide cheaper and cleaner energy for Nigerians. Prior to the formal launch of the program, consultations were conducted wide and near at all levels of business environment, with about 9,000 filling stations enjoined across the country to begin installation of facilities for gas, namely autogas, CNG, and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, available at over 18 locations at the moment, with plans to have more in the future.
By the time you get used to gas to fuel your car, which probably will be like half the price of petrol, you probably will never think of petrol anymore.
To ensure everyone is carried along, the federal government is supporting Nigerian workers to ease cost of transportation by providing 105 auto gas buses, with 5 to be handed over to NLC at this ceremony. To make the program sustainable for private investors, the federal government is releasing the sum of 250 billion naira through the Central Bank of Nigeria for interested investors to have easy and cheap access to the auto gas. Capacity building trainings for individuals at all levels to build up on the technical expertise on the ground. The autogas is cleaner and environmentally friendly as it significantly helps reduce CO2 emission. Autogas is more efficient and cheaper than petrol. But people need not discard their existing cars or buses for autogas. Motorists can simply convert to a dual-fueled car that operates on both petrol and autogas at choice. The National Gas Expansion Program to launch is a high point for Nigeria. The auto gas program to be launched is a promise delivered as it goes live in all states of the Federation in the coming months. With this giant step towards autogas, fashioned to fit the country, Nigeria has joined the league of countries like Egypt, India, Morocco, New Zealand, France, Australia, and the United States of America, who have been using natural gas for years and decades.
If you're just joining us, This is the climax of federal government's effort to deepen domestic gas utilization and plans to make gas the first choice of cheaper energy for personal and industrial endeavors for Nigerians. It is also an opportunity that will provide Nigerians with the choice of a cheaper alternative. The environment will also be better for it as flared gas will be captured for more beneficial use. And interestingly, the issue of ever-increasing price of petrol at the fuel stations will now be resolved to an extent to the means, or what I would call an opportunity for people to buy what they consider cheaper and cleaner. It is also, from the little clip you just watched there, it is also glaring that the role of the Nigerian Labour Congress in the negotiation that went on through Labour and federal government is yielding. We will now take you to the presidential villa where President Muhammadu Buhari will officially unveil the program.
National Assembly, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Group Managing Director, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, President and members of Nigerian Labour Congress, our royal fathers, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I welcome you all to this noble occasion of the National Auto Gas Rollout Initiative, an important deliverable of the natural gas expansion program. Today's event signals the realization of government's commitment to ensure the domestic utilization of the nation's vast gas resources, which currently stands at over 2 trillion cubic feet, through the development of robust gas infrastructure, expansion of gas-based industries, massive adoption of gas as auto and cooking fuel, with the overall objective of employing same as catalyst for the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. It is an important milestone in the widening of domestic gas supply and the provision of cleaner, safer, and better energy options for Nigerians. As key strategy, I have directed the Minister of State, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, and all managers of the Natural Gas Expansion Program to adopt a market-led approach in the implementation of their mandate. The program will focus on encouraging investments through the establishment of conducive and enabling environment in order to encourage and galvanize potential investors in the gas subsector of our resource-rich economy. The program will also focus on other vital aspects of the value chain, especially capacity building, with special emphasis on technical expertise and confidence building with consumers. It is no longer news that the vast natural gas resources which Nigeria is endowed with has hitherto been used suboptimally as a result of death of gas processing facilities and infrastructural connectivity for effective and optimal domestic utilization. As I mentioned above, with a proven reserve of about 203 trillion cubic feet and additional upside of 600 trillion cubic feet, ranking Nigeria as the 9th in the world currently, the need for domestic gas expansion and utilization is apparent. Therefore, the rollout of the natural gas expansion program, Auto Gas Initiative, is coming at the right time, especially in light of global crude oil market fluctuations, coupled with the full deregulation of the local PMS market. These developments have made it imperative to focus on gas as an alternative fuel to move Nigeria from the conventional dependence on white products for autos and prime movers of industrial applications to cleaner, more available, accessible, and affordable energy source. The outcome will not only cushion the effect of the downstream deregulation that this government has to painfully implement, but also create new markets and enormous job opportunities for our people. We are confident that Auto Gas Initiative will lead to increased domestic gas utilization and enrich the trajectory of national economic growth and development. I therefore encourage everyone to embrace gas in form of LPG, CNG, and LNG as an alternative fuel for autos and other prime movers. Let me now express my deep appreciation to Nigerians for their patience and to organized labor for its maturity and patriotism as we collectively navigate these global economic and other challenges. I now roll out the natural gas expansion program with the Auto Gas Initiative as the first phase for the benefit of all Nigerians. The Minister of State Petroleum Resources is hereby directed to commence the process of handover of mass transit buses to organized labor as part of our government's pledge to continue providing support that will ease transportation challenges Nigerians are facing at this time. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I think we can do better with that applause for His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Shall we now please rise? We will take the national anthem. Mr. President will proceed to other matters as you heard him directly. We'll continue in the room. Manasseh, national anthem.
the official unveiling done, the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipri Silva, will now hand over CNG-powered mass transit buses to the Nigerian Labour Congress as part of the agreement reached with Labour during negotiation and in recognition of Labour's contribution to bringing relief to ordinary Nigerians. With gas-based projects like the AKK, the Ajokuta-Kaduna-Kanu pipeline, the Nigeria Gas Flare Commercialization Program and the Gas Transportation Network Code, and now the Auto Gas Conversion Initiative, it is no doubt that the federal government is on the right path in achieving its gas development for economic growth, power generation and industrialization. Today is indeed a great day for Nigeria and Nigerians in government's effort towards giving Nigerians an alternative, cheaper and cleaner energy for not just transportation, other uses that would impact positively other sectors of the economy. Thank you for watching. On behalf
Your Excellencies, to the CNG pump after the bus. So at the bus, the labor to whom the key is handed, one of them would drive, or whoever is assigned to drive, would drive one of the buses to the pump. Before we go to that. Okay. Thank you very much. I am told that before we go to do all of that, we will just quickly take, please indulge me, for the next 3-5 minutes, indulge me to take a vote of thanks by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Minister of Petroleum Resources. We'll welcome Mr. Nabasu. You're welcome, sir. Bitrus, Mr. Bitrus Nabasu Bako, you're welcome.
Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, Mr. Yemi Osinbanjo, SAN, GCON, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sound.
Sorry for that break in transmission. The Chief of Staff.
Sound. Please, whoever is touching the cables, I beg you, please stop touching it, please. Thank you.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Capacity.
Chief Board. The Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and my boss, His Excellency, members of the National Assembly here present.
Feel pressure.
gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The road towards the rollout of the Nigerian gas expansion, national gas expansion program
inside China. All the testing regime.
The road towards the rollout of the national gas expansion program has been a very eventful one with its numerous challenges, most of which is occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic that has brought most economies almost to a standstill. The successful rollout of the program today is a testament of the resilience of my boss, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Timothy Silva, riding on the support of Mr. President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Recall that early this year, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources declared 2020 as the year of gas, and thereafter, in February 2020, inaugurated the Committee on National Gas Expansion Program to ensure the actualization of that declaration. And true to his promise, today we have witnessed the rollout of the program by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. The importance of gas for both domestic and auto consumption cannot be overemphasized. As we all know, when compared to fossil fuel, gas provides a cleaner, cheaper, and more environmentally friendly energy source, and this is why Nigeria should embrace its use. On this note, let me extend my gratitude to the Almighty God for making this day a reality. May I, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Timothy Silva, extend our deep appreciation to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for taking the time, despite his busy schedule, to join us virtually and officially roll out the program. I also sincerely thank my boss, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Timothy Silva, for his initiative and foresighted leadership that charted this course, which will ensure the effective utilization of our abundant gas resources. Let me single out for appreciation the committee members on the National Gas Expansion Program who took it upon themselves to ensure that today's rollout was successful. My sincere appreciation to these hardworking and committed committee members led by Dr. Mohammed M. Ibrahim, MNI. To the management and staff of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Chief Executive Officers of agencies, the GMD, NMPC, the Director DPR, the Executive Secretary NCDMB, the Executive Secretary PEF, the Executive Secretary PPPRE, the Executive Secretary PTDF, the DG NNRA, and the Principal PTI. All industry specialists, my appreciation to you for your tireless efforts at ensuring the success of this rollout. Nigerians are counting on us to ensure its effective and sustainable implementation. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we appreciate you for coming and for giving us this coverage. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, we thank you sincerely. Thank you, and I wish you all safe return to your destinations. Thank you once more.
Thank you very much, PAMSEC, and most sincere apologies for that mix-up of interference there. Most sincere apologies. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and now we will continue to the rollout proper. As I said, the first step, as Mr. President directed, will be the handover of the keys. It will happen on the bus. You see the bus over there. So two people only will be going to the CNG pump, and that is the minister and the GMD. You understand the sensitivities of gas and the equipment and also. Please, two people only, the GMD and the minister will be going to the pump. But for now, sir, can you please rise, go with Brenda to the bus? Can I have the NLC Vice President and the TUC President to support? Just go to the bus over there. Once the dignitaries finish with the bus, only two of them will proceed to the CNG pump. Only two of them will proceed to the LPG pump. The rest can remain seated and just witness it on the screen here. I think crew will do their best to put it on the screen. Sound, 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 sound. Sorry, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. I want to give them mic. Sorry, I want to give them mic. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sound, 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 sound. Please, we need to allow.
Okay. The next item you would be seeing on your screen, it's one that a lot of industry players and ordinary Nigerians here present would describe as a gladdening and a very happy moment for the Nigerian Labour Congress, considering the fact that all along it's been contributing in ensuring that it brings relief to ordinary Nigerians, the handover of buses to the NLC.
Good. What do you? As directed by Mr. President, I hereby hand over the keys to the first set of 5 buses to the leadership of organized labor for your use. In the next phase, we'll be handing over keys of over 100 buses to you, and other phases will follow. Thank you very much. Go to the pump. Okay, oh, see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somebody bringing the driving the bus to this place?
Yeah, they'll drive the bus when you cut the tape.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Now only you.
Let me just tell them. Huh?
Please, only 2 people here, please. Cameraman, leave there. Only 2 people here, please. Only 2 people. Cameraman, can you just move back, please? Can you leave there, cameraman? Brenda, take.
Kitchen.
The tamper with the receiver.
Somebody messed up the receiver.
Come.
Sound.
Where's the receiver?
Sound. So inside. So tell him.
Yes, the crowd, they tampered on the receiver, but they picked it up. This one is working now. Yes.
Wow, this 2 people go there. 9 tons to go.
Formal unveiling and the handover of symbolic handover of buses to the Nigerian Labour Congress it is evident that not just the Nigerian Labour Congress, but all Nigerians and motorists will say this is price freedom, as it is now official that we have CNG and LPG cars moving or will start moving on the roads of Nigeria, and motorists now have the choice of a cleaner and cheaper energy that would not result to a situation of agitation as a result of high or rising price of petrol at the fuel stations. We will be seeing a physical demonstration of the refilling of these buses and what it means for Nigerians and those that will be adopting these methods of transportation. State Petroleum Resources Chief Timipre Silva demonstrating commitment, leading the way by moving or trying to move one of the buses to show that they are not just stationary but functional. And we will be seeing many more. I understand about 1 million more cars to be converted to utilize CNG and LPG by the end of 2021.
Sam, if you can hear me, Sam, I'm going to the second location. So the mic that's supposed to work here, please make it come on now. Thank you. Sound. 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 We need to manage this thing from here now. Sound. Okay, to stop here. Everybody should stop here. Only GM minister should go past this point. Only GM minister pass this point. Everybody stop here. GM minister go past this point. Everybody stay here. Yes, stay here. Everybody stop here. Everybody stop here. Only two of them, please. Sound. Sound.
On behalf of Mr. President,
just steer this way a bit. Jim, face them that way a bit.
On behalf of Mr. President, I hereby commission this LPG dispensing station to the glory of God and for the prosperity of Nigerians.
Mention this, that's my label. Even this can be fueled.
With LPG, now you can even power generators like this with LPG. At least Nigerians have an alternative to PMS now.
Yes, so we're going to Katakwe now. Yes, yes. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Okay. As explained by the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, we can see that the initiative aimed at facilitating the optimal use of natural gas is not just meant for transportation per se. We see other sectors of the economy benefiting positively. For instance, we saw the dispensing of LPG into a generating site. So we see the power sector being impacted positively. So, and from here, we would be moving to the second location for events similar events that happen here to be replicated at the Katampe mega station. Before we proceed to the NNPC mega station in Katampe along the Kubwa Road in Abuja, we are still here at the mega station on the airport road, and we can see some of the vehicles that have already been converted being refilled with the LPG and the CNG, that's the compressed natural gas.
Sound. Okay, so where we're going to is NMPC Mega Station Katankwe near Setraco. That's the second location that we're going to. As I said, it's pretty much a press event, so everyone is not needed there. Gentlemen of the press, vehicles are made available for you to get to Katankwe, the NMPC Mega Station. If you drove yourself here, that's the location, NMPC Mega Station Katankwe near Setraco.
If you're just joining us, this is the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, and in the last 1.5 hours, we have been bringing proceedings from the historic rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program by President Muhammadu Buhari, where we saw him formally unveiling the auto gas project, where compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas will now be used as alternative sources of energy for transportation and other uses like power generation for generating sets, and also will be having other positive impact on other sectors of the economy. As far as proceedings here at the Lugbe NNPC mega stations are concerned, we are almost done, and we will soon be taking a break as we proceed to the NNPC mega station along the Kubwa Road in Katampe, where almost everything that has happened here will be replicated at that venue. For now, we will shortly be taking a break and will reconvene as soon as everything is set at the Katampe NNPC mega station. Thank you very much for being part of this historic day, which has given Nigeria price freedom as far as petroleum is concerned. Nigerians now have a cheaper, a cleaner alternative energy source to power their cars, power their generating sites, and also for other uses that will impact the economy. We thank you for watching. On behalf of the outside broadcast of the Nigerian Television Authority, I am Hawa Salihu Adama. We will take a break and reconvene as soon as the Katampe NNPC mega station is ready for us. Thank you.